Hi everybody, how's it going? I hope you're enjoying the weather. If the rain got you down during spring break, at least it's sunny out, right? I wanted to take you through the agenda and just point out a couple of things with you. So this lesson here for Tuesday and Wednesday this week, I'm asking you to read an example of a research paper to get clear on what that looks like. By studying model work, that can be a way to really figure out what it is that you're doing here. So that's the learning target here. There's a writing prompt, X things you should know about Y. So the idea is that you choose something that you, like 5 things you should know about playing volleyball, or 3 things you should know about succeeding in an English class, it might remind you a little bit of a prompt that I gave you before break, in which you describe how to do something in steps. This is just a certain number of things you should know about something. So there's not necessarily an order to this. So it's related, but it is a different prompt. Don't forget there's a discussion board, one for reading and one for writing. So the discussion board looks like this for writing prompts. I'm going to put the prompt up as a thread heading, and then you can contribute. This is to take the place of sharing out in class the way that we were when we were meeting in person. So feel free to post that. You don't have to post your response. And feel free to comment on other people's prompts too, on their responses. There are quite a few up there right now. Take a look if you haven't done that yet. So I'm trying to link everything here so that you can find it easily here. So then the next thing here asks you to take another look at the research writing assignment. It's kind of a long document. The beginning is really it lays the whole thing out there. Really what you're doing is picking a global problem or issue of some kind, and there are a whole bunch of suggested topics there. You want to define the problem, you want to explain what's led to the problem, and then you want to explain at least one way to address or solve the problem. And these solutions here don't have to be ones you've come up with. They don't have to be original. They can be what you've learned about what experts have said about how to address the problem. Okay, and it could be argumentative. It could be that you're proposing something. It could just be that you're describing what you've discovered here. So we can talk more about what would make sense for you later. But that's the big picture here. The piece I'm asking you to read is called Call to Action, Regulate the Use of Cell Phones on the Road, and that's linked right here. So it's a few years old, but it's still, I think you'll find that a lot of what the writer here says still makes sense. And there's a question there. The first one, it just asks you to summarize the things that makes this a research paper and not something else, like a short story or some other kind of essay. So what are the components of the research paper that make it a research paper? And then the other question is, what does she say that you agree with? Is there anything that you don't agree with? Even though it's old, I think a lot of what she talks about is still relevant. Okay, and then please read something for at least 20 minutes, preferably more than that. 20 is kind of the minimum because we're looking for 2 hours a week. The book that you read right now could be a Tree Girl, and the full text of that is linked right here. Or it could be a book that you've already started that you want to finish first. All I ask is that you read Tree Girl sometime this quarter, and I'll ask you later to suggest when we want to do the essay about that book. That's the all-class read this quarter, so you'll write a short essay about that. When we're done, I'll have the due date up for you later about that. And then also for reading, there's a discussion board there too, so you can post a comment, you can post a question. Here's something I noticed. Here's what I'm reading. It could be about Tree Girl. It could be about your choice book. Maybe you're really enjoying what you're reading and you think other people should take a look at it too. That's great. Again, you can, in addition to posting your own comment, you can reply to what other people have said on there too. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. If you're having trouble finding something to read, check out EBSCO. The link's right there. If you're operating from home, which we all are now, you have to log in. So username MRHD, password Maplewood at 1 there. And there are literally thousands of ebooks, all free to you on there. Some of them you can download, some of them you have to read right on there. But it's really a pretty impressive collection. There are lots of other ways to get ebooks too. You can, Hoopla and Overdrive are both accounts that you can use them with your library card. If you don't have a library card, a lot of libraries are now offering the ability to get a library card number over email. So if you don't have one, you might look at that. And Amazon is another way to read Kindle books. They have literally thousands of titles that are free, or they're a buck. BookBub is another source for lots of texts too that are cheap or free. And then, as I've always done here with the agendas, the due date list is here. So you want to have that cell phone paper in by 10 p.m. tonight, and then independent reading continues Writing Notebook ISS, be sure that's shared with me, Writing Notebook Quarter 4. Tree Girl, as I say here, the due date for that will be announced. I'm going to actually ask for your input on whether you want to do that essay sooner or later. And then if your honors, member Metamorphosis sometime this quarter, and there's some questions to answer about that. Okay? If there's anything you need, please do feel free to email me. I'm around. Okay, see ya.